Hey, you're watching Half Asian Tarot Queen. I'm Elisa. I'm going to start with this mystical shaman oracle. Yeah, we're in eclipse season, so, you know, it gets wild and woolly during eclipse season, and so far the readings have been super dramatic. I mean, we got the full moon eclipse, and then the monthly reading for December, you know, spoke to having to move through some massive conflicts to get to the new order of things, but we'll see where we're at today. It's definitely been some tough energy out there today. I know a lot of people are struggling right now because of coronavirus. It's just not the easiest time to be in the world. If you're new to the channel, thanks for joining. It's like I got over 100 subscribers this week, so that's pretty exciting. Just so you know, I just do general readings. I'm not really trying to be a tarot reader. I just love the tarot, and I'm doing this for fun. And so anyways, like I don't arrange them according to date or zodiac sign. I just do readings kind of whenever I feel like it. But up here, I'll link related readings to whatever story emerges, and then I also arrange the readings in playlists according to whatever story kind of is coming up, so then you can access those down below. So there's that. Okay, so I'm coming back to this a little bit later in the day because I kind of got distracted, but at the bottom we have the Gatherer, which this was just in the last reading I did, but it's kind of about walking in this state of abundance and like knowing that what you need is going to come to you when you need it, you know. So this is like a kind of like a free wandering spirit, and like they have trust and faith in the universe, and that the universe will provide. And so I think that's a good omen, or maybe like what we're aspiring to, because the other cards like speak to this like profound sort of healing. But we got the Arrow, so this is a card of being in alignment with the universe. So it's like when you pull and release your arrow, it's going to hit the mark, you know. And so like right now, it might not seem like things are going your way, but this speaks to, you know, don't be overwhelmed by this moment, because however things might look, like your arrow is actually going to hit the mark, you know. So, I mean, this does kind of remind me of like David and Goliath. Because it's sort of like being in alignment with a power that's bigger than yourself. And like it speaks to overcoming, you know. And the rest of the cards that are coming like really speak to this profound healing that's happening. So we've got Taming the Wind. And this is, you know, the wind speaks of change, but like Taming the Wind is speaking to a healing, but also just like an internal examination of like how you are like communicating with the world around you, and how you know, you might look at that and how it could be contributing to like whatever circumstance you find yourself in. And it's interesting because the reading that I just did was all about sort of breaking this cycle, this recurring cycle in life that's like been leading to this like recurring pattern that needs to be broken, you know. So this speaks to like doing this examination and like how you're communicating with the world, and like, you know, it kind of encourages like journaling and like this flow, because for sure you don't want to be like stuck, you know, in your energy. So, you know, just like encouraging like this free flow and examination of ideas, but then also how like you're communicating those to the world, and like where maybe there might be a blockage, you know. And so then the next card we have is a smoky mirror. And this card speaks to like the shadow element and like your shadow side, you know, and these are like sort of like the parts of ourselves that like we disown, you know, and it's like you might not necessarily even be conscious of it, because it's like speaking to a wound, you know, that like some part of you or some part of life that you're like not wanting to acknowledge because it's just painful, you know. And so but what happens is, for one thing, you have like a blockage in your energy, which is gonna kind of like block you from being in a state of flow when you have a blockage in your energy. But also like it's like you compensate for that, but like it distorts your vision of like reality, you know. And so you know, in order to heal this, it's like you have to be able to see things as they really are, you know. And that can be painful, because then you have to like release something that might be really painful, you know. And that's it's a profound healing, but it's also not an easy moment, you know. But then we have the child, you know, which this speaks to like a new perspective, and like it speaks to redemption, you know. So in healing that wound or that distortion or whatever you're, you know, where you're not looking at things right, you get like a new lease on life, or you get like redemption. And then we got the journey. So this speaks to like really stepping outside of yourself and stepping outside of your comfort zone and stepping into a new experience, you know. So like, and you know, underlying all of this is this person who's in this state of abundance and flow. So it's just like this really speaks to like healing an internal wound that might be blocking or distorting your perception. And so it's like you've maybe experienced some really painful thing in your life, and you're like not even aware of it, but you're sort of like bracing yourself for this painful thing, and you're like actually blocking yourself from the abundance that's around you because you're anticipating all this pain, you know, but it's actually blocking you, you know. So it's like the lesson here is that you're going to have to like respond to the world in a different way than in your comfort zone. You're going to have to step out of your comfort zone, and you're going to have to be open from a new perspective, you know, and you have to bring into awareness like where that blockage is, you know, so that you can have a different experience. So this is like really a difficult lesson and requiring like a lot of self-awareness. But like the overall reading for the month of December was talking about, you know, kind of like breaking out of this cycle, this pattern, you know, that's been happening for your whole life, but like having to move through some really difficult stuff, you know, as part of that sort of transformation, you know. So yeah, this is a really intense reading. But like inviting you to like open up, you know, and like allow the transformation to happen, you know. Okay, so then I'm going to go to the urban. So on the urban, we have the universe. So this speaks to like an ascension, like taking a step, you know, on to the next stage of life, you know. And we had the Queen of Cups, the therapist. We have Dominion. we have death, we have love, and the Wheel of Fortune. So this is interesting because this really echoes the message that I just kind of said. You know, it's just like doing this like inner work and like healing some like emotional wound that's like causing this blockage, you know, and it's sort of like plaguing you, you know. And this dominion, you know, speaks to something that's sort of like oppressing, you know. I mean, it's not like the traditional meaning, but in this deck I kind of get that. Like, it's just sort of like some circumstance that's like penning someone in, but it's like something that needs to be healed, like within yourself, you know, some perception of the world that's like facilitating this, you know. But like we got the death, you know, so like there's like some sort of like, it's like being surgically removed, like whatever this belief is that's like holding you back, like there's like a change. So there's like a profound shift that's happening, you know, and it's leading to love, you know, like this openness. Like it's like maybe there's something that's like causing you to be jaded, you know, and so you keep having the same experience over and over again, but it's like you have to heal that wound so that you can see the world from fresh eyes in order to like have a different experience, you know. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune, where it's like everything just shifts and changes, you know. And then on the next row we have the Ace of Cups, we have the Journalist, we have the Kindergarten Teacher, we have Luxury, and we have Valor. So, I mean, this love like speaks to a new experience, and it's interesting because like that's right under the Therapist. So it's like we're healing something that's like blocking this free flow of love, you know. And then like we have this Dominion, which is this like thing that's sort of like penning us in, you know. And we have the Journalist, and it's interesting because he was just in the last reading too, and he was like exposing some sort of like untoward situation, you know, like, and shedding light on it. And so you know, perhaps that's what he's doing with this, like this is being exposed, whatever this is that's like blocking this person, you know. And so then we have the Kindergarten Teacher, you know, which is interesting because this, you know, I think of someone who's like super optimistic and loves working with kids, you know, but like this person's like, it's almost like they're going through a transformation, like their eyes are being opened, you know. And then we have, this is like the Four of Cups in the traditional deck, and it's like luxury, but it's almost like where you've gotten like almost like too comfortable, you know, like to where you kind of like take it for granted, you know. And it's just like interesting because that like comes under the Love card, you know, or it's just sort of like maybe you're being jaded because you had like some bad relationships, and so like you've taken love for granted, like you're not willing to like put yourself out there or like take the risk anymore, like you're just like sitting home drinking milk in front of the TV, you know. But like it looks like whatever that situation is about to change, and underneath the Wheel of Fortune we have Valor. So someone's like kind of taking like, this is the Seven of Wands in the like traditional deck, which is a card of like having to sort of like stand your ground about something, you know. So it's just like someone's kind of taking a stand, you know, and it's causing this like thing to flip, you know. So interestingly, with the Radiant Wise Spirit, I got the Sun, I got Temperance, I got the Five of Cups, the Lovers, and Truth. So it's interesting how these fell out too, because we got the Sun, which is like a card of total fulfillment and happiness, you know, and it's interesting because that came out on top of this Queen of Cups and this Ace of Cups, you know, so there's like all this love for this person who's done this healing work, you know. And then we have Temperance, which is the card of like sort of like alchemizing and bringing things back into balance. And you know, the water I think speaks to like some sort of like highly emotional situation, but that's right on top of this. So it's almost like this, whatever this oppressive situation is being exposed and it's coming into balance. But like, it's causing a shift, you know, like maybe for this person, maybe for this teacher, you know, but like there's going to be a loss that comes with it, you know, like there's some huge shift in perspective that's happening, but not without a loss, you know, like there's 3 cups built here and there's like loss, you know, but behind this person there's 2 full cups. So, you know, like hopefully they can turn around and see the potential that still remains. You know, there's still 2 cups left, but they just need to have a shift in perspective, you know. And then interestingly, on top of this 2 of Cups and this person who's kind of taken love for granted, we got the Lovers. So there's like this huge potential. We've got the 2 of Cups and the Lovers. There's this huge potential, but it's like someone's sort of like maybe a little jaded and they're like maybe not willing to take a leap of faith. But there's a potential there, you know. And then we have the Ace of Swords, which is on top of this. Someone's having to stand their ground and is causing this huge shift, and it's like around some sort of truth that's like, you know, like it kind of speaks to this row too, you know, like something's being exposed, which is like releasing this oppressive situation and causing this flip, but like someone, in order to like trigger that to happen, is going to have to really stand their ground around the truth. And it's like really fight for it, you know. You got to fight for the truth. But you know, the underlying energy we have is the 10 of Pentacles. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's so weird. Like I usually, like this helicopter just like flew. Can you hear that? Like this helicopter just like flew over, which for me is like this big deal because like I always get messages from my dad when helicopters fly over. So it's just like I must have said something that like really hit home, you know. But like some like deeply held perception of the world, a way of being in the world that's like sort of like blocking you, it needs to shift. And there's going to be some pain that's going to come with this shift, but it's going to lead to good things, you know. So it's just like you really have to like honor the truth right now, like, which is going to take some work because you're going to have to confront this like shadow side and like see things that you don't want to see, you know. I mean, for me, like I can totally get that, because it's just like I've been like having to confront this situation I don't want to confront, and like a lot of it is because I'm seeing things about people maybe that like I don't want to see, you know, like, and seeing sides of people that I don't want to see, and like triggering them and knowing that they're gonna like freak out, and like I don't want to do this, you know, but it's just like it's the truth, and like it's causing this really messed up situation for me, and like, you know, the situation is like sort of like based on a lie, so it like needs to be, the truth needs to be told, you know, but it's gonna cause like a big, freaking dramatic, epic mess, you know? So it's like, I don't want to, you know? Like, I just want to hide in the closet, you know? But sometimes you gotta, like, pull the curtain back and, like, see what's in there, you know? So that's kind of what this is speaking to. And, you know, that's what's required to, like, move up. So we got the great severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. So we're going to have to, there's going to have to be this powerful surge of energy that's going to have to, like, be released in order to shift this situation. And it's like, probably not going to be pleasant, you know. We got activated earth, power places, ley lines, trust where you're led, follow your intuition, you're being guided. Your life is a canvas, artist, manifestation, creative accountability. So don't get discouraged. Like, you are manifesting. You know, stay in alignment with the truth. Keep the faith and stay positive, because, like, there's a big shift that's happening, and it's going to be profoundly healing, but it looks really tough. So, I'm with ya. I'm feeling that, and good luck. I'm thinking that sometime soon I might turn off the comments, because I'm just doing this for fun, and I'm trying to go back to work, and, like, I don't really have time to, like, prune spam comments and stuff like that. But thanks for watching the channel. Feel free to like and subscribe, and yeah, sorry about the comments, but, you know, there's only so many hours in a day. Okay, have a good one.